Hey everybody, welcome back to Up in the Northwoods. It's Sunday afternoon here. We just brought our equipment over here to a job we're setting up for tomorrow. We got the skiddy and we got another toy here I'll be showing you in a sec. But all these red pine trees behind me, for the most part all of them, are the victims tomorrow. We're starting this big job tomorrow at right away in the morning. We got 5-6 days we plan to be here. There's 200, about 200 of these red pine trees here that we're going to be taking out. We have to cut them all down, cut them into length to go to the mill. All the tops we will be chipping in the chipper into a dump trailer and hauling over to a local customer down the road here that we did work for. He'll take the chips. And then I have to stump grind 150 stumps. So that'll be interesting. It's a lot of stumps. Anyway, I'm going to turn you around here and I'll take you for a walk and show you what we're going to be doing. Okay, as I said, these are the trees, and you can see they're tall. They're up there. Got some that snapped already. This is why the landowners are like, it's time for these to go. It was an old pine plantation at one time apparently, but we also have a bunch, all the ones with the blue marks on are going, and that's across the driveway here too. There's going to be some, but we have all the way around the house. Every tree by the house here, all the way around, is going. And these bent ones, and that are up here. There's some over there next to the property line over here that are gonna go. There's a boat landing here. It's a public boat landing in a little swim area beach, I guess. These trees are marked. The blue, of course, get cut, and all the orange get ground. So you can see I have to grind all those stumps. But all these, there's a bunch in the woods here a little bit. All these in front, pretty much all these go. That's why we didn't mark these, because they're all going. And then you can see how so close some of them are to the house. They're pretty close. This one, it's... So we'll be pulling some of these, making sure they go where we want them to. But you can see here, they're tall, and the ones out here are branchy, but a little more than the rest of them. But here's the lake that they're on. So all these trees are going all the way through. We're going to be just cutting these off above the pipe. They want to keep these here because there's a swing they put there. But all these, even this big boy here, those all got to go, and we're going to be dropping them that way once we have all these out of the way. And all these, all here by the shed, all these got to go. We're going to grind all these too. This one I don't think I'll be able to grind. It's a little too close to that shed. Yeah, a little too close, you think? Yeah. So all these are going to go all the way around. Some back here they want town, which are not going to be fun. These are gonna stink. I think we're gonna be taking them this way, because these are going, but I'm thinking we're almost gonna have to go that way with them. See here, these, yeah. So we're back here, and this is the toy we're going to be using tomorrow, starting tomorrow. This is a Vermeer AX17. It's basically a whole tree chipper. It can do up to a 17-inch, log or tree. We're going to be doing all the tops and anything we don't want to take or to the mill or anything. That's all going in. So it's only got 20 hours on it. Vermeer was nice enough to give us a little deal on it, because we're going to do some videos for them. So and tell them people what we think of it. And this is something we're looking at possibly purchasing. for our land clearing business. So we're going to be giving this thing a test this week, and then we're going to give it a review. But it's all hydraulic jacked, and with the jacks, it's got a 135 horse Cummins on it. It is DEF fluid. It's got jacks, stabilizer jacks in the back, hydraulic. Big throat, seeing this is be fed with a machine, so that's why they have the push bars way down. So it's got a remote control, so we can control everything right from the excavator. So another stabilizing jack, so it's got your controls for the chute here, and then your panel box. It's all a little computer and everything, so it's pretty cool. It's a nice unit, all hydraulic for the chute, so we'll be able to manipulate where we want chips to go right from the machine, right from the excavator. So that is the chipper. Tomorrow we will find out what it does. So we'll be back here. We're bringing some more equipment tomorrow morning, and we'll be back here bright and early.
Well, guys, I gotta do a little voiceover here. We actually had a little mishap with the mics and the camera and all that stuff when we were on the job, and we didn't unplug something right out of the camera, so there was no audio because I thought we were using the mics instead. So I'm gonna do a little voiceover here since I don't have any audio, and I'll show you guys a little bit of this, but then we're gonna get into more where we have audio, of course. But you can see here with the excavator, when you're cutting them up like that, I just get it real close to the end, and he cuts it off real close to the 100-inch because we marked the first one, of course. We have one that's 100-inch, and we guide off that. And then we keep pulling it up, cutting the little knobs off, of course, because red pine have a lot of little knobs on them. But I can see in the cab how close I am to that end, and then right when it gets there, I stop, and he cuts it off. So it works really good. But I got to make sure that they're always on the opposite side of the excavator from me, because when they're on the side of the excavator, we get that shorter piece. As you can see here, the log is getting shorter, and if someone's on the inside by the excavator more, it'll kick out, and it could potentially hit them if I'm not super careful. And it's hard when you don't have a rotating grapple. Like, it's kicking right there a little bit. But there's nothing you can do about that. Just be careful and watch out. But you can actually see that little mark above his chainsaw. That one, we marked those out so we knew where to cut it, so we weren't wasting any. But we're just trying to get started in here, and you can see the septic pipes right in front of the camera. There's 3 of them here, and then there's 3 little ones over behind the excavator. It's sketchy because we gotta drop them across septic. So we surround the pipes from the septic with logs a little later on, so that if we do for some reason drop one over there, it hits the logs instead of the pipes, because that's a brand new septic and we don't want to mess that up. But the hardest part with this job is getting in here and getting room to move, because there's so many trees. I gotta watch the tail swing on the excavator. I gotta watch everything. But once we get opened up, it goes really good. But you can see we got Zane for a whole week. He's dropping all of them since we're near a house and all that. He's really good at that, and he does all the climbing. So if we need him to climb any, he's at the job, so we don't have to get him there later. So he took a whole week off of work, and he's doing that. So then we got my uncle helping, and then my dad is in the skid steer. We got the skid steer, the tractor, and the excavator there. And the excavator was a huge help, because in tight quarters, you got to get those logs cut up and get them all stacked up real nice to move them. And then we moved them all out to the road. So it took a lot of time, but it went good. But you can see we're going to keep dropping these trees down. I'll show you guys a little bit. I'll throw some music in with it for a little while. Just don't want to bore you guys with a bunch of music and no chainsaw noise or anything, because the audio got messed up. But we're going to drop some more of these trees down, and I'll throw a little music in with that.
Well, we're back here today, day 2. We got this whole area. We got out here by the road. Here's the pile we did for day 1. We got this opened up, but it looks like we hardly did anything. We figured we took down almost 50 trees yesterday in this little tiny area. Over here, they're along here, we just started dropping these. We're dropping all these up here by the house. Get these all done by the house. But there were so many trees here, it was crazy. But I ground about 10 to 15 stumps already in here. You can see kind of the dirt and get them out of our way so we can stack this wood. But man, we're gonna have a semi-load fast. We figured 2 semi-loads, it might be closer to 3. Let's be going for pallet wood or something. But we're gonna concentrate on these, get them down today, and then a bunch over here along the back side of the driveway. Terry and I'll start dropping them this way, and Zane and Gunner are gonna come over here and start taking these this way. They'll bring them down. So, and now the customer was just here, and we're gonna leave this tree there in front of us, this one, those out here behind the wood pile, and now he wants this big one out of here because of this maple here. So these 2 are going. He just added this one, but gotta do it, I guess. But yeah, all those back there gotta go, all through here, all along the lake, everything goes. So we got a lot of work yet, so we'll set you up for some of it, but again, it's the same thing over and over, kind of boring. We did set up a little log cabin area over those vents because we're worried about, we want to protect them as much as possible. So anyway, we're gonna keep going here. Got a lot of wood to move yet over here. This was all filled with trees, this whole entire area. We got some debris we got to haul home, hopefully one more load. I decided to mulch a lot of the little stuff, like, you know, the little tiny stuff. He's putting a whole new yard in because they're going to be doing the front shore. But these trees here are along the property line. They're actually on the town's property. So we decided, he could have cut them, but he decided to leave them. Here's out towards the water. Here's the cabin. It's all stump ground. I got a couple stumps yet that wood was on top of, but we got this wood, we got another wood pile down there. Then all of the stuff up front. It's all got to go on that pile. We already had one semi-load go out, which was a big load. I'm gonna guess 16, 17 full cords. But yeah, it looks totally different with all the stumps gone, ground. Like I said, I think he'll be happy with this, I hope. But if I scrape this, I'm gonna be taking all his black dirt too, you know. So, but I got a big stump here yet. You can see it's right by the wood pile. So, and I missed one over here. Got a little bit of mulching here yet. I'll touch this up. We got to fill in the holes here from all the grinding. But you can see we ground right up by the house. Here's that stump. They cut it off so low, I missed it. So you can see we had to take some pavers out of here to get that, but we got to clean this stuff up here yet. Back drag this a little bit, and like I say, he's putting all rock riprap in. Boy, look at the view. I don't know if you can see that across the water. The colors are really in. But he's going to put all riprap here in the front so it stops eroding. So he's going to be in and out of here, and he owns way over into that, well into that brush, way past it. He owns quite a bit of frontage here. So that's what it looks like from the lake. And I mean, it's his cottage is now in the open. There's no more trees.
Well, guys, we're back at the shop now, and we just got a little bit to do in the morning at the job, and then we're going to be wrapping it all up tomorrow. But we just want to do a walk around quick and a little review on the chipper before, because we're bringing it back tomorrow morning right away. So I was going to walk around and show some of the key features that we really liked about it, and show you guys what we thought, or tell you guys what we thought at the end. So I wanted to show these hydraulic jacks here. There's 3 jacks. There's 2 on the back and then the one up front for on the truck. That's very nice, so you can get, because we left the machine tipped back a little bit so you didn't hit this safety bar as much, but it's still, you still hit it some, but you got a remote to restart it. But then you can see here, this AX17 has a fixed feeding trough, so it's more for machine feeding, not like the, I think it's a BC series, where they have the tip down and it's not as heavy duty. So this thing can hold up to a machine very well. You can see the big roller in there. It's got the remotes on both sides. You can move the spout. This is for the remote, and then raise the roller inside. And then you can see here, I'll open up right here. It's got a 135 horse Cummins diesel on it. You can see she's brand new. It's a nice machine. But then you can see here, the hydraulic jack. Here, I'll close that up. The hydraulic jack on there. And then it's also got the extending tongue for like different chipper trucks and all that. And the chains, so you can extend them out so you're not having to twist them all the time and do that. And here's your diesel fill def and your hydraulic oil. And then your level for hydraulic oil is right there. Then I'll show you guys the remote quick. Here, it's right in here. So here's the remote that controls the whole chipper. You got to start it from outside, But then you can level the jacks, which is right there. Those valves, you level the jacks out. And then so once you engage the clutch, you can run the rest from the remote. So like here you got your power button, your spout, the tip on it. Here's your swivel on for rotating it. And then you got your RPMs. It's either all or nothing. Here, I'll get that a little more clear. Here's your RPMs on there, and then your forward, reverse, and there's some down pressure there. So that you can do all kinds of stuff on here. It's very nice to have, so you can restart it if it hits emergency bars and all that stuff, so you can keep chipping. But then here we'll do a little walk around. It's got single axle 16-ply tire on it, so it's a heavy duty tire, but it's a little under 10,000 pounds, so she's heavy. And you can see, and then also we wanted to show you, it's got this tip out tray. It's actually newer, where they actually, he said before they had on these, you had 2 pins on the bottom here you had to pull, and then you could tip this down and empty out all the debris. But now they have this 1 pin here, you take that out, and this door tips down. You can tip it from both sides, and it tips down and empties all the debris out, so you don't have to crawl under there and get a face full of dirt. So that's nice. Yeah, here's your clutch, engage right there, and there's your hydraulic jacks from the other side. But so my dad and I are going to do a little review on it and give our final thoughts on the machine right now.
Well, here we are by the machine again. Gunnar just did his little walk around with you guys. Tomorrow we will go over the whole project with you at the site and show you the final result. Pretty impressive job, but this is a pretty impressive machine. We got to first give a shout out to Vermeer Wisconsin, and specifically our salesman Nick, for this unit. We did rent this unit, but we did get a discount on it with YouTube. We said we were going to do a video, but we are looking at purchasing a machine of this caliber, of this size. This is really something we really need to do and get away from mulching if we can, and put this stuff on the ground. It saved us a lot of time and a lot of mess. But it's a very impressive machine. I did not run it specifically. Gunnar did, of course, with the remote and feeding it with the excavator. I was bringing either material up to it, or I was grinding one of 150 stumps that we had to grind on this project. So, but back to the machine, it's a heavy-duty, big machine. This machine is actually, Nick told us, is a machine that is a lot like municipalities use. They use it for down in ditches doing brush, and that because of the hydraulics on the back, they can, they're down in the ditch crooked, and that's the worst thing for motors to run that way and everything, so they can actually level the machine with the hydraulic rams down and get them straight. So we are looking for something that we can have the bigger throat to stick to tops in. So with feeding this with a machine versus a BC15 or something like that where you have to shove the brush in, it's not machine friendly, so to say, to load it. So that's what we're looking for. So this is something we're looking to add to our arsenal next year. But overall, this machine is very impressive. It is under 10,000 pounds, so it's under the CDL. If you don't have a CDL, I do, but we don't. That's nice. 99 something, Nick said it weighs. If you go up to the AX19, now you're jumping into that 14,000 GVW.
And you get a double axle too.
And then it's a double axle, so it's not a single. But they got a heavy duty tire. This thing is set up. The remote, everything. What I've seen, what it ate, was very impressive. Again, Vermeer Wisconsin treated us great. I've owned one of these in the past, just a brush chipper, but I'll tell you, this is definitely the machine we're looking to add to our arsenal. So yep. Gunnar's going to go over a few more points that he thought of, that he brought up, that Vermeer does.
Little things like that Vermeer does is like here you got your bolts for your opening up for your knives in there so you can change them, and they put a little magnet over here so that it holds the door up so it doesn't smash your fingers, or if you're sticking your head in there or something, you can actually keep it up out of the way so it's not hitting you. And then they did a jack too up on the
up here.
Yep, up there, so you can tip down. So if you got a shorter truck, like I tipped it down a little bit for in our dump trailer just to make sure we were getting it in there good. But then also like the chains I showed you guys earlier, they got that little bar that you can bolt up and to make the chains a little shorter. And that's nice so that you're not having to twist them and they're getting all caught up and dragging if you don't twist them and that stuff. But we only did put a little over, what is it, 8.3 hours?
8.3 hours.
And we had 40, but that was all we needed it for. So.
It ate brush so fast, we didn't need the 40 hours. So we were actually going to do some stuff around here and get rid of some trees along our driveway and stuff with it, but we just didn't get time because this job with 200 trees, you know, taken down in a very small area with 4 buildings, it took a little more time than we expected. But what's cool about this is, you know, they have that remote and you have it physically here. You can maneuver this whole machine or operate it right from a control.
You can operate the control. There's a green button here on both sides, actually, so it doesn't matter what side you're on.
Yep.
And I never even use this to ramp up the machine and put it to RPMs I need. It's actually all or nothing. So it's either you're chipping or you're not. So you can't run it in between for emissions and all that stuff too. But you can run it right from here, of course. But then I never even ran it through here. I ran it right through the remote. But then also I like these jacks. We got the normal, what I think the ram jacks are called, where you pull the pin out and then you push it down. But these ones, all you do is you push this down and then you can just do that and they lock where you want them. I like that, so you're not, so that was loud. But
might be a little loud on there.
Yeah, but it was nice because it's very easy. You can push it with your foot. So it's easy, quick, and go.
It's getting a lot more user-friendly for, you know, things have changed so much in 20 years. It's crazy. But you know, it's got a nice motor. It just ran flawlessly. It did everything we asked it to do. We put in probably the biggest log we put in was probably around a 14-inch, maybe.
Yeah, about.
Something like that, 13, 14-inch. That was, some stuff was rotted, but everything else we're sending to market. You know, as I showed earlier in the video of a quick walk around of where we were at the point when they were chipping with this. We got that video, but now we'll do a final. But all that's going to the sawmills, so we didn't want to chip anything that's good. But
as far as fuel consumption on this, we went through for the 8 hours.
Crazy.
I think we went through probably about a tank. We filled it up because it was getting towards a third, but it's down one click again. But so we probably went through about a tank, and the def, we didn't even notice it go down on the gauge at all. So we're just going to top that off.
It just eats wood.
Yeah,
it doesn't take a lot of fuel, and it eats wood. So
I don't know how many gallon tank that is for the diesel, but we only went through one tank in 8 hours, so that's not bad.
She is heavy on the truck. I mean, you know, it's back there. It's a big piece of steel, that's for sure. But you know, Vermeer is known to build some of the best chippers in the market for sure. So, but we wanted to just give a quick review on this, what we thought. You know, definitely, you know, something that's in our, you know, on our schedule to purchase in the next year.
And we're very impressed by it.
Yeah, we're very impressed. And again, we want to thank Vermeer Wisconsin for doing this and giving us this opportunity to make this video and show you guys, you know, another piece of equipment we're looking to purchase and give you a little walk around and heads up on it. But everything that I've seen of this thing, it's definitely got me pointing towards their direction. So, but I think we're gonna end this for now because things going back tomorrow, and I'll be going early morning down to Appleton, Wisconsin, dropping that off, and then I'll be back up to the job site, and we will do our final walk around, and maybe we'll get some shots of our last little cleanup. I'll have Gunnar do some shots, and we'll get some final footage for you guys, and we can close out this video. But we will see you tomorrow. Okay, everybody, we got her back here to Vermeer, Wisconsin, down in Appleton. You can see their big new building. They just built all this. Yeah, this is a pretty nice place. Nice and new. There's a big horizontal grinder. That would be nice. So we're going to get this unhooked, and then we're going to take a quick walk through the yard. I see some other chippers over here, and we'll just do a little look around in comparison to the AX17 we rented. So we're going to get this unloaded and go from there. Okay, we got to get her started here. Hydraulic lift, so we got to take it off with the hydraulics here. So you can see there's 28 hours. I think you can see that there. 28 hours only on this thing. And that is it. Just that easy. Here's a big horizontal grinder. Look at that beast. Wow, that thing's awesome. All right, let's go find the chippers. So here's a BC15 I seen. This is what we were gonna rent, but we decided to go a little bigger. Oh yeah, I'm glad we did. It's got a tip down tray here, so you can see you pull the pin right here and this thing tips down, and then it's got the safety lever here, and that it's all quite a bit smaller chipper. Definitely glad we didn't rent that one. And they got a lot of old used ones, BC 1000s, brand new BC 1000. Oh, here's a 2100. This is considered a whole tree chipper, where you shove the whole tree in, which, oh yeah, you can see why. Holy man. That's got to be 3.5 feet, 3 to 3.5 feet across there. She's used, but she's a beast. Wow. Big. Here's an AX19. Here's the other one we've been thinking about looking at. It's two double axles, so tandem axle compared to the single on the other one, but it looks like it's all set up pretty much the same way. Hydraulics. I think this one's got 175 horse in it. Yeah, it's basically the exact same unit. A little bit wider tray. Oh yeah, she's got a wider infeed a little bit. It's got a winch on it. So that's kind of cool. So if you need to pull in a tree, you can see that push bar is way down low, so you got this modular or rounded area here that you can, the branches don't hit as much. Let's see what kind of hours are on this beast. Looks like 76 hours. So this one's used, but might be something to consider for us. They probably do rental, so, but we might look at that. It looks like some BC 12s, 1200s back here. That's a 12-inch chipper. Yeah, 12-inch, I believe. Then they got a bunch of smaller ones over here. We're not too interested in those, but we got to go big or go home type of thing. So yeah, this place is pretty nice. It's all new. Everyone drives brand new Ford pickups, which, you know, smart people for the most part. But again, we want to do a shout out to Vermeer Wisconsin down here in Appleton for giving us a discounted price on our chipper for, you know, doing this YouTube video, and it worked awesome, and you know, probably be in our future here real soon to be buying one. So I think the 19 jumps up. The one we're looking at, the one we rented, the AX17, I think they said it was like 131,000 for this unit here, but I think it jumps up to like, I don't know what the heck it was, like 160 or 170,000 for the AX19, but it jumps up quite a bit, you know. Oh, I better make sure the remote's in here. Yep. Remote is there. Everything's here. So, yes, very nice unit. Nick brought it up to us, you know, and we used it, and it worked really, really good. So we're definitely excited that we got to use it. Now we know what we want to look at. And again, thanks to Vermeer and Nick. And I'm heading back up north to the job, and we got to get to work.
Well guys, we got her done. Sorry for the wind, it's very windy out today and I don't have the mic muff, but we got her all finished up. The log truck driver got another load this morning, so that's 2 loads out of here so far, and there's probably another 1.5 or so. So technically it's a half an acre right on the edge of the driveway. There's another half acre over there, so in about a half an acre we cut about 3.5 semi loads. So that's a lot of wood for these tall trees. But you can see we got her finished up. We did a rough grade on it. He's gonna redo the whole lawn sometime, I think next spring. But this is what it looked finished up. We got all the stumps ground. Everything's out of there. See how clear it is here. Nothing got damaged. Except for we actually got a little bit of, look, he's got those concrete pavers back by the fire pit. One of them cracked, I think, which the log broke and hit it. So what can you do? It's a little concrete paver, better than landing on the house, that's for sure. But you can see here, you guys probably remember, right, there was all these trees here. There was probably 80, I think there's 80 some trees right in here, but we got all those out of there. And good thing we bought that stump grinder, because otherwise we would have been working around stumps this whole week or a week and a half, and it wouldn't have been fun. You can see here, this is just, he wants to leave this more natural and grow back. Same with over here, he's going to leave it more natural, just let the little saplings come up, and once they get a little bigger, I think he said he was going to maybe cut them or so they don't get big again next to the house. But he hit a rock right here. He had the mulcher in here. You can see the rock right there. He hit that. And then there is an old, one of those big old satellite dishes out by the road. I'll walk out and show you guys. But there's the old cable. They ran it right above ground. But you can see here, he caught that with the mulcher and it shredded it up. You can see the shreds of it. And you can see the wire here. The mulcher did not like that. It got wound up in there for a little bit. But I'll walk out and show you guys this old satellite dish because it's pretty cool. It's an oldie. But next week, log truck driver is going to come and get another load out of here, and then he's going to clean up the half load or whatever we have left. But my dad actually just went down the road. We got a job we did this past, this past summer, and the guy, we got the stump grinder now, and the guy wants some stumps ground, so we're doing it while we're right down the road, as we are about 40 minutes from home right now. You can see the old satellite dish. That's an old one, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, the wires just ran. You can actually see the wire here. It's ran right down here. I did catch it with the excavator the other day too. So, well, we're gonna end this video here. We got this job all done, all cleaned up. So thanks for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.